Like, it's just obvious.
Yep. There we go, everybody. Hello to the Noodlers on this Freedom Friday, October 16th, 2015, for the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Investing number 178. Freedom Friday, Hawaiian Shirt Friday. That's what it's all about. Whatever you want, baby, that's what this is. Freedom. And freedom to let your mind wander. And boy, is my mind's spinning after last night. So go ahead, John. Say good day to the crew.
Good day, crew. Awesome. It's Freedom Friday. I decided to wear a Sell a House Arizona shirt because this company is what is giving me freedom to do what I want every day, to do what I enjoy every day, which is real estate and working with people. And my mind is reeling from the latest crazy encounter I've had with a new family that's selling a house, and this business never ceases to amaze me. I mean, if you're a people person, if you like analyzing situations, if you like being a little bit of a counselor, this is the perfect business for you because it's all about people. It's all about counseling. But what I'm really interested in today is I saw that Paul had called me last night a couple times after this meeting he went to, and he also had texted me that my mind will be blown, something along those lines. So maybe that's has a little.
Well,
does that?
Unfortunately,
we keep trying to talk over each other. Give me 1 second. I was going to say, does this maybe have something to do with what Paul wants to talk about here today? So I'm going to turn it back over to him. Because he's the one who's had his mind blown, and let him go ahead and share and blow ours. Minds, that is.
Well, you know what? I don't want to. I can't do that live on air, John, because you're not wearing a hat, and I certainly don't want to see that all over that gray matter all over your walls. So, but I will take an offshoot from this, and I will go with that this morning. And what I'm looking at here is out of the box thinking. Okay, I thought we were creative out of the box thinkers. Well, there are some creative out of the box thinkers out there that will just blow your mind, and that's who I ran into last night. And so it's crazy. I mean, to see how certain people think on a whole nother level. I mean, so far above anything that you would have ever imagined. It's so inspiring. I mean, I can't even really explain it. I mean, and we're not talking about, some, godlike entity here. We're just talking about a guy, just a regular guy who, I mean, if you saw him on the street or in the grocery store or something, you wouldn't think twice about who he was. But what's between his ears up here is really something special. And to think and see and analyze and look around the world and, use your entrepreneurial spirit and mind to see problems and resolve problems, to, see opportunity and to, seize that opportunity and create something out of it. It's really inspiring to see something happen on, such a beyond your comprehension kind of thinking, to really get your own mind to open up. So, we've talked a lot here before about, who do you listen to and who do you hang out with and all those kinds of things. And, I've always heard, and we've all probably always heard that, your sphere of influence, you get around these types of people and it can make a difference in your life. I don't know, maybe I've never really experienced anything like that before, but it was really, really had a powerful effect on me and the way that I think and move forward from this day forward. I mean, I'm a different person after last night. So it's pretty exciting stuff. And it's all, like I said, it originated from, the sort of just out of the box thinking.
I'm just curious, was this person the presenter or just someone you met at a networking event?
No, he was actually invited to talk in front of the group. Well, the other guy wasn't so mind-blowing. I mean, it was definitely something that you'll be able to wrap your head around, but it was exciting to meet him. The third speaker was somebody that we both know very well, which is actually why I went to the group, was just to sort of, be there and support and hear what he had to say. And I got to tell you, even Elijah is pretty advanced in his thinking compared to sort of where we are in ours, in the same direction, in the same line of what we're wanting to do here. But yeah, I'd say he's a few steps out in front of us. And it was pretty inspiring to see how he's doing what he's doing and what he's done and where he intends on going and all of those sorts of things. But the other two gentlemen, like I said, one really powerful person who's got an opportunity for us in financing deals that I think we're going to be able to take advantage of. And then the other guy with just off the charts.
Interesting. Very vague though, because Paul's not giving me the meat. He's just giving me the teaser. I got the bread, and I know there's a delicious sandwich between the two slices of bread, but I don't know what meat I'm getting. It's mystery.
Oh, well, they served the sandwiches last night. You could have had roast beef, turkey, or combo sub. So you missed out on the meat. But no. I mean, I just before we get into sharing something with the world here, I mean, I want to collaborate with you on this and get your thoughts and ideas, because right now it's just a spinning whirly dervish of a mess.
Yeah, I get it. Oh gosh. Sorry about that. I thought my ringer was off on my phone, which it appears to be. Seller calling me back, but I can call him back after the hangout. I'm busy. So anyway,
yeah, like I said, just out of the box thinking, man. That's kind of the subject I was going with today.
Well, absolutely. I think that, part of what makes any business successful is having a unique selling proposition. We talk about that a lot, and that has to do with kind of whatever industry, whatever business you're in, trying to do something that not everybody else is doing. And this is especially important, I feel, in today's environment in real estate, because internet real estate gurus, they're a dime a dozen. There's probably, if I went online right now, I could probably find 50 different courses about wholesaling in the matter of 10, 15 minutes. And Paul and I both have looked at a lot of this stuff ourselves, purchased a lot of stuff, invested money. Money well spent, to be quite honest with you, because in each product that we've purchased, we pulled out a gold nugget or a great idea, or had an aha moment, which we applied to our life and applied to our business, which has really made a difference. But, as I was saying, most of these things that are out there are a dime a dozen, and they pretty much all cover the same basic things. And, it's not a bad idea to know what other people are doing out there in the market, learn about how others have reached their pinnacle of success, but especially in wholesale real estate, to me, the old way of doing it, the way it's presented in a lot of these programs that are out there, are definitely methods and strategies that no longer really work. They may work on a small level, but you're never going to see, have $1 million success with a lot of these things unless you think out of the box and analyze this and kind of come up with your own idea, your own twist, and a unique way of presenting yourself and a unique way of approaching sellers, and always be on the lookout for new ways of finding the motivated seller. which I kind of pride ourselves on, always looking forward, never getting stuck in what we're doing today. So yeah, out of the box thinking, it's imperative.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great, if you pay for your, pay for your own education, all the information that's out there, all great stuff. Some of it is outdated. The concepts and the systems, they do, as John said, they do all still work. However, they were, a lot of them, I'm not going to say them all, but a lot of systems were generated and created in and around the crash and the bubble and the crash and during that time. And obviously we're past that. So if you're buying a foreclosure system, it was generated during the time when you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a foreclosure on the corner. And so the success level that you're going to have, obviously you just need to understand that the success is there, the system still works. The foreclosure process in buying a house that way or flipping a house that way, it's still the same pretty much at the grassroots level of it. However, it's just not like you're going to go out there and have 40,000 motivated foreclosure sellers pounding on your door to sell you their house. They're going to come, you'll still get them and all of that. But even just at that level, you can still take that exact thing, and if you can apply your creative mind to what you learn within that system and open your eyes a little bit and look around at what's going on now and take that information and expand upon it, then you can actually create or recreate the the level of success which is promoted within the system that you bought, even though exactly what they're what's in there may be a little bit outdated. So that's kind of that's kind of where we're going with the whole out of the box thinking here, is the fact that you always have to be looking forward, because I mean real estate especially, I mean the whole world is ever changing, but real estate market especially is an ever changing market, and what's happening right now and working right now today isn't going to work next year. So I mean even what we're doing right now, we already know, because we've done a little bit of research and looked into this, we've already know that there's kind of a short window on what we're doing right now for the mass of availability of what we're seeing. Now obviously it's still going to be there, it's just not going to be as plentiful in a couple of years, and that's just the way it is. So, and continuing to look forward and like, okay, here's an awesome little window we can work within. But I mean, already right now, we're not just sitting here going, hey, let's work in this window and with our head down and not looking around. You got to keep your head up, your eyes open, look around and say, well, what am I going to be doing in the third year? I got to be looking at that now and kind of figuring it out, seeing what's going on and seeing, anticipating what's coming. And that's sort of out of the box thinking, is really looking ahead and finding the gaps and the problems and fixing them in advance, kind of, so to speak.
Absolutely. That is, shoot, I'm sorry, Paul. Okay, it went away. Sometimes when I start talking, I hear the echo of my voice coming back to me through your computer on like a 3-second delay. And when that happens for 10, 15 seconds straight, I'd like to meet the person out there that would not screw up their thinking. It's, but anyway, what I was going to say there is, absolutely, I kind of look at ourselves here at SellAHouseArizona.com and what we're doing with the property noodling system as, we're problem solvers. We're really, the word would be transactional engineers. No two deals that we structure are really ever the same. I mean, basically there's a template, but you're dealing with people. And yeah, people have 80% more in common than they don't. But what about that other 20%, right? There's a lot of variations among people. People are still, with all the things we have in common, we are still individuals, and each person has their own individual way of looking at things, their own individual wants and needs, and no two transactions are ever the same. Yeah, sure, that person may be signing the same contract, but you're dealing with a personality. There's a person there. And for me, I pride myself on feeling that I've always had the ability to kind of step outside the box, look at things a little differently than the majority of people. And I've always had kind of a different twist on life, society, government, all that kind of stuff. And as I move forward in life, I'm starting to realize that I'm meeting more people similar to me, like almost like I put my flag up and people are now being attracted to it. Where in the past, sometimes my way of thinking, got me into a lot of trouble. Now I see it as, one of the best assets that I have. And it's the best asset that really any of us have, is the ability to just think differently. And that plays into what we do, is because we've got to be constantly thinking outside ourselves, outside the box. Because sometimes I think about when you're, thinking inside the box, you're trapped in yourself. You're trapped in your own mind, your own myopic view, because everybody has a narrow myopic view of the world. It's what you perceive through your mind. So it's those people with the ability to step outside themselves, see the bigger picture of things, that are going to be really successful. And those are the kind of attributes that and I think it's a learnable skill. I just want to throw that in. But I think it's that attribute that really needs to be brought to the table when you're structuring wholesale deals. Because this business, after all, is about working with people, communicating with people. Me and Paul say it all the time. Paul and I, rather, that's proper English. But you got to, Paul, I'm sorry, take over. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's a frog. Got a frog in your throat there. One of the, people are generally more, reactionary than they are sort of like, in attack mode. And that's kind of a difference between, comfort zone and, inside the box thinking is, waiting for things to happen before you sort of, try to figure it out. When you're in attack mode, you're kind of like, you're looking for, you got your eyes open and you're kind of looking for what's coming so you can, kind of dodge the bullet, so to speak, instead of getting hit and having to go to the triage unit and fix the problem after it's happened. We're looking at, how do we fix the problem before it actually gets here?
Absolutely. It's like, that's called forward thinking. It's, of course, there's always going to be some sort of curveball that's thrown into your life or into your path that's going to cause you to have to react to something. But, if you have the ability to kind of forward think, then when something unexpected happens, maybe you'll react in a better, more proper way, or maybe forward thinking will help you to not to have to be reactive thinking. You could be someone that's reactive. You could be proactive and kind of take steps to avoid a situation. It's funny you say that, because you're going to be dealing with, you got to have, I think, a strong mental constitution to deal with some of the people in wholesale real estate. You got to have a passion for wanting to help people. You got to have a persistence and an understanding and a willingness and openness to learn. But once you start dealing with people on a daily basis and you hear these stories from motivated sellers, there's a reason why sellers are motivated. Something is screwed up in their life. It's not always their fault. Sometimes it's a job transfer or a divorce because of an unfaithful spouse, something that's putting that property in a position or them in a position that motivates them to sell. But I will say most of the people, I'm going to say damn near 90% of the people that I contact and do business with and purchase these real estate deals from have created their own shit storms in life. You can hear it in the way they talk about the situation. They blame everybody in the world but themselves. And I say you got to be a kind of a strong person with a clear definition of who you are and where you want to be, and you have to have self-confidence, because misery loves company. You know, that's an old saying, and birds of a feather flock together. And, you know, if you're flying with a lot of birds that are hitting the ground and crashing into walls, you tend to become that person. And, you know, for some people, sometimes it's kind of a depressing at the end of the day to look back and go, well, you know, I spoke to 3 sellers and the world just really beat them up. And you can't let yourself see the world through their point of view, because blaming, justifying, complaining about your situation and making 1,000,001 excuses, that's what 98% of the people out there do, which is why that's the majority of the people that end up in a motivating situation. But you have to be strong enough to see through that, stay strong, and never feel bad when you're getting a good deal on a house. Because, you know, that was something I had to cross over when I first started this business, was, you know, feeling, mildly guilty about, all right, man, I just got a great deal, and Paul and I made $18,000 off this deal, but we only paid the seller this. Should they have gotten more money? Should I have gave the investor or the end buyer a better deal? And the answer is no, hell no, in big capital letters, because we're out there dealing with these situations, getting these things through title, working on liens, finding people. And there's a lot of hard work, time, and money that goes into locating a wholesale deal. And you should maximize every buck. Paul and I right now, you know, just recently did a deal with a guy who was living in a house for 3 years without water or electricity. And his dogs were using the inside of the house as a bathroom. He hadn't cleaned it in 3 years. And he himself, probably for the first year after his water was shut off, continued to crap in the toilets until it was piled up a foot high and falling over the sides of the toilet, where he realized at that point he can't shit inside the house anymore, which God knows where he started going to the bathroom after that, probably the backyard or something. But, you know, this guy, Paul and I, did extremely well. That was probably one of the biggest deals we ever did, both on the front end. We sold it to ourselves for a giant assignment fee, did minimal rehab, and then flipped it again for a great profit. And, you know, the point I'm trying to make here is that this guy had made $22,000 off the sale of his home. There was liens, taxes, HOA, all this stuff. You know, within probably the first 2 weeks of closing that deal, because we gave him 30 days to get all the stuff out of the house, the guy proved to us over the whole entire course of that 30 days how it was his fault and his fault only about how he ended up in the position he was in, living in a house, being foreclosed on, with no power and water on for 3 years. Because we were even joking, like, the guy seemed like a shit magnet. And if it could go wrong, it would go wrong for this guy. He crashed into the house after he drove into the house. He didn't move the stuff out. We had to literally force him out and give him extra time. And God knows he's probably blown through that money. I think one of the first things he did with it was go and get drunk, you know, and he was a drunk. So you're going to deal with people like that, and your ability to think outside the box, be very confident about who you are, not allow these people to, you know, you're going to listen to them with a sympathetic ear, but not get sucked into their world of blaming, justifying, and complaining. You know, it's really about your attitude and your state of mind. That's why Paul and I talk so much about mindset and self-development.
Yep, and then be able to take all of that and lead them in the direction that not only you want them to go, but realistically in the direction that they need to go. Because this is all about helping people. And sure, we could lead them down the wrong path and you know, really take advantage and have a, you know, really smoking deal and give this guy, you know, $1,000 for his house, because what other choice does he have, really? But, you know, showing someone like this that, you know, hey, we're offering you a solution to a situation that you have no other way out of, and we're showing you, you know, the path to enlightenment here. Basically, this is the way that you want to go moving forward, and to be able to take all of that sort of shitstorm that John talks about there, and you know, sort of you know, part the brown sea and show them the way to go, is a big part of, you know, the negotiation with people that are in, you know, deep troubles with a situation like that. And so being that strong person and someone who can, you know, again, a little bit towards the out of the box thinking, is that it comes in being able to, you know, assess, like John says, listening with a compassionate ear, a sympathetic ear and a compassionate ear, and, you know, assessing the person, not necessarily the situation so much, but the person, assessing this person and who they are, you know, and how they themselves did get themselves in here, so that you can, you know, reach in through the brown pile and grab them by the hand and sort of, you know, help guide them out a little bit. It's a very interesting thing. And I actually can't wait. There's going to be, from, you know, the creative information that I got last night, we might have an opportunity to see this. I kind of think same sort of thing to a certain extent, but on a whole different level. It's going to be very interesting to be able to try to get into something like this. So I just I don't know. I just like I said, my mind is still spinning. I'm running around in circles here with some out of the box thinking, and I'm just going to throw it back to John to finish up with you know, whatever thought processes he has going on here, and if he can get that bullfrog out of his throat there to finish this up and deliver the prayer for us.
Yeah, you know, maybe I should do some vocal warm-ups or some vocal exercises before I start these hangouts or something. You know what we do here mainly with the Property Noodler, and what makes us successful is that and why we talk about this How to Win Friends and Influence People book on Mondays is, you know, having the ability to think outside the box, be open to new information, new ideas, new strategies, new education, knowledge, wisdom, the whole 9 yards. You know, one of the great things about life, the great things about being an entrepreneur, is that the road that you're traveling, the ladder to success, quite frankly, in my opinion, you know, there's the light at the end of the tunnel, but do you ever really reach the light? Do you ever really want to reach the light? Because the journey really is what's more important than, I think, the end result. That along the way, you're learning, you're growing, you're feeling good about what you're doing, you're enjoying the moments of your life. You have this big grand vision that you're always working towards. And, you know, when you do get to, you know, okay, I've got this vision. And when you do that, you know, most entrepreneurs then go, all right, I want to take where I've reached and I want to put that on steroids, and I want to even take it to the next level, and then the next level, the next level, and the next level after that. I mean, there's infinite levels where you can go. And that's the exciting thing about real estate. That's the exciting thing about life. And that's why we constantly got to be open to that and learning and growing, but enjoying everything along the way. Have a definite purpose that you're working towards, but you know what? Always have the next goal when you reach, you reach your current one. You know, real estate, your business, whatever you do, should never become boring. It should never become stale, because if it's boring and it's stale, two things are happening. One is that you're no longer learning or growing that business, or two, you shouldn't be in that business because you're just not passionate about it. You know, otherwise, it doesn't matter if it's a paint business. It doesn't matter. I met a guy the other day who flips baseball cards on eBay, and he had a very interesting business strategy with great returns on how he does it. And he loves baseball cards and he's passionate about it. And he has this amazing plan over the next 5 to 10 years. So, I mean, you know, if you're passionate about something, monetize it. And realize that like all the concepts that we talk about here on this hangout transcend just real estate. Most business, most sales, most ways and opportunities towards success are going to require you to deal with other people. That's the bottom line. So, you know, with that, get outside yourself, get outside the box, start to look at things from a new, fresh point of view, because there's so much people don't know out there, and there's always opportunity to learn and grow.
It says it right. It says it right here in this book that, again, we'll be talking about on New Op Day. One of the things in here in chapter 2 that we covered was, I mean, he starts out by saying, you know, your biggest problem is dealing with other people, especially if you're in business. But in life in general, it makes no difference if you're a housewife, an engineer, or a freaking, you know, cashier at the gas station. Your biggest problem is dealing with other people. In this, on this world, in this planet, that is your biggest problem day in and day out. So the better you can get at that, obviously, the more success you're going to have. Sorry, John, I just had to throw that in.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what? We're kind of going over time. I think that kind of sums up our thinking for today. Just get outside the box and how that relates to dealing with people, and how that's important not only in wholesale real estate, but in any business, quite frankly. So with that, I'm going to toss it back to Paul to close us out with the prayer today, right in the middle of that big, comfortable yawn of his.
Oh, universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. Thank you guys for being here today. We'll see you back on New Op Day, as I said, for more of the Dale Carnegie How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I don't know if you're a Survivor fan or not, but kudos to Cass for giving a call out to this book in her transformation from Chaos Cass to a more user-friendly version. You guys might want to try the same. Anyway, we'll be here talking about that. So come see what it's all about. All right. That's it. Have a great, awesome, fantastic climax or celebration or pinnacle or whatever you want to call these next 2 days coming up, except for that piddly word that we usually use. And we'll see you back on New Update. Bye, everybody.